Alright, hello and welcome back everybody. This is David with Faramir's Rangers, and we're starting off the good old tournament with Maratha Confederacy, sitting with the record of 0-0, but obviously because we haven't started yet, this is the first game in the first week of this tournament, and the Maratha Confederacy are moving forward. This is a home game for them. And obviously, the field that would be best for them is going to be the Syrian Ridge, and that's the map we're playing on. Sweden coming in with a record of 0-0. Obviously, again, it's the first game. So, here we go. Everybody's on an even playing field. Sweden coming forward with their mighty troops, and we are doing a 4v4 once again in this tournament, and this is a multiplayer match. So hope you guys enjoy this. This is going to be quite interesting, and I think we're going to have a good match here. So if you're unfamiliar with Maratha Confederacy in Empire, Maratha has a little disadvantage in that they don't have light infantry, so you have to substitute camels for your light infantry. And you can see here that that is being done quite well. I'm not a big fan of the camels, but they do scare Cav, and they've scared off one of the light dragoons for Sweden already. And they're whittling down another and making pretty good use of them here. As you can see, Sweden does bring rifles in front of their guards, and that is going to give them 125 range with those riflemen as they lay stakes. And that will be a hard thing to overcome for Maratha. They gotta get in close to the Swedish to make it count. So what do? Oh yeah, we're gonna see some melee action with a lot of melee troops with the Marathans in this one. So I hope you're buckled up in your seat and got your popcorn ready, because yeah, it's gonna get down and dirty and nasty pretty quick in this one. So looks like Sweden has rushed forward, and they're going to be taking the hill in the center. In this map, there's a nice grouping of hills right in the smack center of the map, and that is a good thing and a bad thing for Sweden, because pushing forward like that, you're wearing your troops out, so they're already very tired, and that gives a big advantage to Maratha, because the Swedish European or any of the European forces, they're not going to recover as quickly on this map from fatigue. Now, Maratha and the Ottomans, they have heat fatigue resistance, so they're going to wear down, but they will recover a little bit better than the European forces. So that can be a factor late in the battle if the Swedish start running around, pushing their troops forward. And one thing I've noticed on this map as well, if you leave your light infantry in loose formation for a long period of time, they do seem to wear out a little faster as well. But maybe that's because they're sitting on that hot sand in their knees or something, I don't know. But definitely seems to have a factor. That or switching them from formation to formation. So anyways, you see here getting into the melee action with the lifeguard and the militia right here at the crest of the hill. And we'll see that fight take place as all the action is starting on the Maratha left flank and the Swedish right flank. And now you can see that there's a little bit of action here in the center as Maratha is getting into the melee here as well on the tippy top of the hill, and that is going to favor the Marathans for certain. They have way better melee troops in this than the Swedish. Alright, so on the Maratha right flank, the Swedish left flank, the Marathans have given up some ground and have let the Swedish come around and envelop. The same thing has happened on the other side, and that's going to encourage the Swedish to push that flank and also run their men, which wears them out a little bit and overextends them, so the Marathans can mass their massive amounts of men and manpower and kind of dictate where they want this battle to take place at. As you can see here on the Swedish right flank, the Marathans are coming right for the melee here as well. And they are going to be coming around this little pond here, or I guess you would call it an oasis. You can see they're getting sandwiched here, are the Swedish. Getting a bit of a oasis sandwich, if you will. Now the riflemen of the Swedish are back there shooting into the backs of this, but there's a bit of a wavy ground there, so they're not going to get too many kills. So you can see them back there taking some shots. And here the Swedish lifeguard's about to break on the hill, as did these lines in the center. I got a light dragoon here that needs to get back, or he's going to get wasted. Looks like he's finally going to start running. And over here on the Swedish left flank, they have massed up quite a bit of cav. Doesn't look like much has happened here. The Swedish rifles got whittled down a bit. Not sure what happened there. I missed seeing that, but yeah, I mean, the Swedish look pretty strong on this flank. We'll see what happens here. Those Swedish got the lifeguard cav. They've even got 2 chevrons, so they spent a lot of money on that. We'll see if that comes into play later. Those are definitely tough cav, but again, heavy cav is pretty tough to use in this game. And you can see here in the center, it looks like the Marathan forces are going to make another solid push right here in the center of the battlefield, as they're going to shoot with their Sikh musketeers and push the melee with their Sikh warriors. And you can see here they're able to shoot over the tops of the melee troops' head, giving them nice cover fire, as the Swedish are going to start falling back, using some cover and fire from their light dragoons behind them. And they're going to set up, but it's not going to be far enough that they're running, that the Marathans are going to get into them and give them a bit of the sword and shield action, if you will. And they are pushing a little bit more troops down off the hill as well. And it looks like finally this lifeguard is about to break. He has held in there for quite a while. Now Maratha's pulled back their melee push here on this flank, as Sweden did pull up quite a bit of men to reinforce. They did knock out a couple lifeguards and a militia, I believe. As you can see here, another militia coming under pretty big disadvantage here in the over here on the Swedish left flank as well. And things are not looking good for the Swedish in the center, as there's another grouping of melee troops coming over the hill now. Over here on the Swedish left flank, things look pretty good, but there's a lot of elephants massing up here. And if you know anything about elephants, that could be problematic at best. So here comes that additional melee rush. We'll see what happens here. I wouldn't be surprised this militia breaks right away, and it looks like they're giving the ground. All right, so here comes the next push. Looks like the Marathas are already a little tired in this push, though, so that might have a factor into how well they do. All right, we're getting another melee push here on the left flank. They're going to sweep right over the hill, getting some cover and fire from these troops here. And here come the elephants, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what the elephants are going to do. Whoa, my God, I just love the elephants smashing and crashing into the party. They are party wreckers, if you know what I mean. As we go into the palm tree little paradise against the light dragoons. Stabbing it down. Their point has been made, I think. If you get my point. I use that too many times. All right, we're just going to move on. All right. So, the Swedish are getting pushed out of this little I guess you couldn't call it a woodland oasis as well. I don't know. Can you call palm trees woodland? I don't really know. I don't know if palm trees are considered wood. They're kind of like fiber. I don't like palm trees too much. Anyways, here we go. The Marathons are really bulking up here for a push on the Swedish right flank. We'll see how this goes down. Got some elephants to support their little push as they get into them from around both sides of that little pond oasis area. And here in the center, the cav for the, I guess, was it the Bardari cav with their little fez hats, and getting into it with the Swedish there, and yeah, getting into it with the lifeguard. Looking pretty dapper. The dapper lifeguards. And here we got the Swedish cav pinned down. Now, over here on this flank, Sweden does look like they've thinned out quite a bit. We'll see how well this push goes as the camels are looking on. And, yeah, things are cranking right along. This battle's going pretty fast, if I don't say. Alright, so this intense fight over here on the Swedish right flank has really kind of locked down here in the center portion of that flank. And Sweden needs to wheel that tip of their flank to support. That was just the problem here, is they're too spread out, and they were able to come at them in a pretty bulked up little section. As you can see here, the Swedish in the center are pretty much kaput, as the last of them are getting routed out. They're in for a bit of a surrounding, if you know what I mean. There's still a few Swedish forces here, as there is a light dragoon, or no, that's actually a lifeguard horse, and they are looking dapper as well with their little hat and their feather in their cap. Trying to impress somebody, I think. So the Swedish left flank has stabilized here, and it looks like their cav is looking to really kind of turn the tide here. We'll see how well that goes, but the Marathan center should be able to reinforce their right. As you can see here, the Swedish are losing a lot of their good premium units here, as the Swedish do go ahead and launch a cav into the back, but also the Marathan cav gets their lancers into these helpless little rifles here, so that's gonna rain on their parade. Now, Sweden is finally pulling back their tip of their right flank, which is a good move. It's going to allow them to reinforce, but I think it's a little bit too little, too late, as some of the Marathan forces are starting to rout out, and that doesn't bode well. But the elephants, yeah, it looks like they're biting the dust too. Light dragoons were a little bit too much. All right, so let's shimmy through the palms and see what's happening over here. All right. So the Swedish forces here do look like they have evaporated in the center completely, and it looks like this little massive fight here with the lifeguard horse is about to wrap up. It looks like the Baldari are going to probably bite the dust as well. So we'll see how that goes. Now this line here seems to be facing the wrong way. What that's about, I guess that's what it's about. The elephants are going to smash into them, and they're going to quickly go into square. Don't be so square, my friend. Don't be so square. Marathons are looking to envelop here. I'm not sure if this is a great push or a amazing push, but we'll find out in a minute. Okay, so things are starting to turn against the Marathons over here on this flank. Their men are just getting too tired in melee. But the elephants are doing well, as it looks like the light dragoons' heads are on a swivel here as they rout. Good old elephants smashing that square up. Just too many units still in the back. There's a lifeguard as well. Sweden, man, they really brought some mega troops. We got 2 more elephants coming in. So we'll see how the Swedish fare against that matchup. They're bringing the heavy dogs. All right. So Maratha is really getting reinforced on the Swedish left flank. So they have folded back, and now the fight is on 2 flanks, 2 separate flanks. So it's going to make things a little interesting. The Swedish have a little, I don't know, I think they have a little bit stronger position. They have way more troops over here on the left flank, but their right flank is also holding them fairly well, considering. But now, yeah, just as I say that, here comes the elephant making a bulldozering out of these running Swedish lines. They should be going into square. My God, they're just getting mowed down. It's face down in the lawn, but they're face up with their hands up. Hands up, don't shoot, you know? My Lord. Somebody needs to write their congressman. This isn't fair. I don't even think they lost any elephants on that. Alright, so they're going to go ahead and pull back. It looks like more elephants are on the way. Okay. Let's see what happens here. It's like we got a stampeding elephant, or like this, something happened at the circus where all the elephants bailed out and now they're in the battle here. I don't know. I'm just talking out my backside, I guess. But I think the elephants might be biting off a little bit more than they can chew here. They don't have any infantry support. And that's not going to fare well for them, as the light dragoons can just keep running from them. But they are getting some damage in on these lines. But I'm not sure how well that's going to be able to sustain versus the light dragoons. So we'll soon see. Quite a bit of reinforcements here for Maratha on that side. Looks like we're going back going back to reinforce this flank, even though there's only 5 Swedish units. They're in really good shape, holding out extremely well. We got that stake line protecting them from the elephant charge on the front there too. So we'll go back over here. You can see we got units coming back over, and yeah, quite a bit of stuff here. Elephants are just making a mockery of that routing line, but they just can't catch those light dragoons. They're too fast for them. They're too fast for them. It's time to go back to the peanuts of the circus, my friends. But these guys are getting some nice damage in here. I guess they're getting doing what they can here before they bite the dust, because there's just too many infantry units stacked up that the elephants just aren't going to be able to dodge that. Sweden's done a nice job stacking their lines here so that they can get constant fire as the elephants push into their ranks. All right, let's go back over to the other flank here and see what's amiss or whatever. All right, we're going to speed this up, see if we can get to the bottom of it, as things have definitely turned for the wrong side for Maratha. Sweden is putting it to them over here. Sweden still got 5 units. They've been whittled down a little bit. Here comes some fresh, or mostly fresh, Marathan units. 3 and a elephant, so 4 units in total. And they're hungry for some action. So we'll see how that goes down as one of the Maratha units routes out. So 4 line infantry are now getting ready to line up to get some shots, but we'll see where they get set up here. They should have stayed there, honestly. They could have got shots as the Maratha came into the open ground. but they're moving. So we're back over here to the Swedish left flank. Things are stabilizing for them over here as well, as they are even up the odds a little bit here. So we'll see what goes down. Let's get over back to the right flank, see if this can get evened out for the Marathans, as they have the fresher units. Sweden's choosing to run, and they're already exhausted or tired, or very tired, I can't remember, but they're not going to get away versus a lot fresher troops. They're going to get run down, and mostly those elephants are beating in on them like a laser beam here, and yeah, this is going to bode well for them. They're on the wrong side of the stakes. It's going to the square. Golly, that just getting mowed down. That was like mowing the lawn. Jesus. That was not a healthy experience for that Swedish square. As you can see, he's starting to waver. And as the Sikh warriors get into him, he routes out and just left with the militia. The militia will not make it long against these guys. So Maratha takes the right flank, and this puts the odds heavily in the Marathans' favor of pulling out this victory. So we'll see how it goes down here. Sweden is putting up a heck of a fight. This is a lot close, very close. And here we go. One of the Swedish cav just gets routed out. And now they're going in for another charge. Maybe they're out of ammo. I'm not sure what's happened to the Swedish cav, but they're very tired, so this isn't going to go well for them either. And they're going into stacked lines. You can see another line behind that can shoot into the back of their own men and mostly into the light dragoons. So as you can see, that volley happening, and there goes the Swedish cav. So Maratha is looking pretty good to go here at this point. I'm not sure if there's anything Sweden can do to get their victory. So we'll see here. Alright, so we're at the end game now, and looks like Maratha is going in for the killing blow. They got the elephants going ballistic. Let's see what they do, this superior line. Yeah. That's a meltdown there on that line. Their forces just melted like hot butter. Alright. I think we're just about to the end of this. Looks like Maratha's going to take it. So Maratha Confederacy is going to go to 1-0, and Sweden taking their first defeat against the Marathans, going to 0-1. So, I hope you did enjoy this battle, as it was fun to cover. This is a really good battle, and I hope you'll look forward to seeing us on the next battle for this week. We've got several coming up, and I think you're going to really enjoy it before we finish out week 1 on our tournament for the Nations of Empire Total War. Which nation will end up on top in our nation versus nation tournament? And there it goes. The victory goes to Maratha. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next video.